Okay, so disclaimer, there's a lot going on today. There's a lot of people outside because it's nice. There's people upstairs screaming. There's people everywhere just talking loud and screaming. That's part of the reason why I have this mic, so that I could try to fix it like when I'm editing, but we'll see. I'm gonna be honest, I don't know where to start. I have so many thoughts, so many feelings. First of all, full transparency, I recently had a mental breakdown, but it's okay. It's okay. You know, we need those to feel and be better. I was feeling overwhelmed because of work and just life in general, but also trying to keep up with recording. I was being hard on myself because I didn't record like I was supposed to last Thursday because I had to work overtime. I didn't have to, but you know, just whatever. Things happen that way. I ended up working overtime, and then I didn't even really fully have an idea of what kind of video I wanted to make, what I wanted to say, what I wanted to do. So other than like the music stuff, so I kind of just let it fall to the wayside, and then I ended up feeling really guilty about it afterwards. I was overthinking. I was spiraling. It was just like, I was like, what? Come on, girl. And then, you know, after that, I kind of just didn't want to do it anymore. But here I am today, pushing through. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the first video I made, the very first video. I still have it up, that I made on this channel to just basically talk about myself and say like why I'm starting the channel or whatever. But in that, I said that I made my channel to talk and say things that I don't normally say in my day-to-day, because I just want to be able to talk freely. And I kind of lost sight of that. I started getting mixed up in trying to please everyone, but I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that, because literally the whole point of me doing this is so that I can get things off my chest that I don't get to really talk about, so that I can rant uninterrupted and just give my thoughts and opinions on things unfiltered. Like, that is the whole point of me making this channel, of me even wanting to record ever. Like, I just kind of was mad at myself for even considering filtering or watering myself down to please, or not even please, but just to not have any like negative feedback or any kind of like feedback that I didn't want, because it was not even necessarily negative. And I mean, I just got to get used to people commenting and saying things or not liking things that I do or things that I say, because that's just what comes with the territory. And honestly, that's what comes with living. And I'm trying to, you know, be better. But it made me feel like how I used to feel when I was younger, because I feel like I used to get called selfish and dramatic a lot when I was younger, and that kind of stayed with me as I got older, and I would try to low-key people please in a way to avoid being called selfish or dramatic. And I ended up in a lot of situations that I definitely could have avoided if I was just sticking to my guns. And I feel like I used to be so mad at myself for falling for that and for trying to box myself, make myself more digestible, and make myself just smaller in general. Like, I literally would sometimes be like, okay, so I'm not gonna say anything until someone says something to me. Like, I'm not starting any conversations anymore because I'm tired of the dramatic comment. I'm tired of the overzealous comment. Like, I just am not going to say anything. And then it turned into, Sanai's standoffish. Sanai doesn't say anything, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, you cannot win with people. So from that, I learned to like, just who gives a fuck? But the reason why I was so mad at myself recently is because I fell right back into that. Like, this is my channel with my videos that I edit. So I will not be filtered. I will not be cornered. I will not be silenced. I will not be silenced. Period. I've seen girls older than me, around my age and older than me, on YouTube, even just like celebrities, or I mean, you know, obviously you're not going to get the full picture, but just like celebrities, even people in my life who have been silenced their whole life, and you can tell that they've just never really felt comfortable saying exactly how they feel about stuff. And it's sad. It angers me. It makes me feel so bad for them, because you can tell that they want to be free, but they just don't know how. And it's not funny, but like, they just don't know how. They don't know, like it's in them, like they subconsciously, consciously, like they're just boxing themselves in. They're filtering everything, they're sugarcoating everything, they're just not saying things just to keep the peace. And like, I'm not that girl, and I never will be. Now let's get into what we really are supposed to be talking about today. So what I actually want to talk about today is loneliness. I want to talk about loneliness versus being alone, because these are some things that I have been battling, and I just feel like I've experienced it all. When I was younger, I was like a dating fanatic. Like, I wanted to find my person. Like, I would never rest until I found my person. That's how I was. And I wouldn't even say my heart broken, because like, I didn't really love them all. I just got played with. Like, I got bamboozled. I know I made a video about it, the bamboozlement, but yeah, I got bamboozled. I would get swindled. I would get just taken for granted, taken advantage of a lot, because I just was going full force, head in, open heart, open arms. If I give, you'll give. That was my idea about, like, around, dating. And that was not what the case was. And I learned that, I wouldn't even say the hard way. I just learned it the long way. It took me a little minute, but eventually I learned it. I, at the time, thought that I wanted this or needed this thing because I had so much love to give, and I just didn't have enough people to give it to, like, the way that I wanted to. Like, I wanted to pour myself into somebody. But I didn't realize that at the time that, like, I was battling loneliness. I think I just struggled to connect with people a lot when I was younger. There was always a really big age gap, whether I was way older or way younger than people, other than my friends. And I just felt really alone. I felt really lonely, and I didn't even know that that's what I was feeling. But like, when I would go out and make friends, I would try to give them everything. Like, I would just be like, be my friend, even though they were horrible to me, or they would, whatever they would do. And I would just be like, no, like, it's not like that. My mom would be like, girl, those are not your friends. And I would be like, but they are, but they weren't. And yeah, so that's what I battled when I was younger. That's how I battled the loneliness. And then once I started being able to date, I was looking for love. I was looking for something to fill that void, and I didn't know what it was until I met a boy who I went steady with. And we were steady for some time, and then we got real steady, and then it got real toxic. And I know people say toxic this, toxic that. No, but it was really, like, thinking back, it just got really toxic. Like, I didn't realize how much I was always erasing myself to be with somebody until I was with him. And it wasn't even because I did that with him. It was because he wouldn't let me do that with him. And it's so crazy, because at the time I hated his guts. I thought, like, I hated him, but actually it was just a really abrupt wake-up call. Like, I didn't understand why, because he was just like, Okay, I'm gonna give a little more context because I feel like I'm talking in codes a little bit. I was once a person who needed to be with their person all the time. Like, really needed to. I would start to feel this feeling that I can't even really explain. Like, I don't know if you would be able to get it unless you've also felt this kind of loneliness and like tried to do this as well and like fill a void that was unfillable. But I would literally feel like I was losing my mind. I would cry, I would sob, like all because this one person said that they can't see me right now. There would be other things that made me upset or made me cry, but I think the overall thing was that I needed him to fill this space and he wasn't. And it forced me to look at myself. It forced me to sit with myself because we were together, so it's not like I could do what I was doing before, which is like going out dating, downloading apps whenever I feel something. You know what I'm saying? I was in this relationship and I was forced to look at myself. And that was the first time I ever had to do that. Like for real, especially in that kind of context. It kind of broke me. It kind of broke me down. I got really depressed. I had really bad anxiety around that time. I cut all my hair off. And then, I went on this whole rebranding tour, basically. Like, I just said, fuck that nigga. Like, and even though I will never say this to him ever, he really helped me. He actually, that situation really helped me because I don't know what would have happened to me if I ran into somebody that wanted to take advantage of that part of me, you know, because he actually told me one time verbatim, like, you need to get a hobby, like you need to, and it was very rude at the time and it still kind of is rude, but he was basically like, you need to do things for yourself and stop worrying about me. The way I said bet after that really is what started the process of the woman you see here today, because I said, okay, yeah, you're right. And then I went and, because I didn't really care about my job. I didn't really care about anything, honestly, when we were together. I just cared about our relationship, which, yeah. But yeah, I said, okay, started making friends at my job because I wasn't really talking to anybody at my job at that time. I didn't really care. But yeah, started making friends at my job, started going out with my friends, started taking better care of my health, went and did something that I need to do for myself, felt the effects of that. Yeah, and I was just like, okay, yeah. Like I said, it took me it was a long lesson, but I ended up learning that lesson and I ended up really coming out better because of it. When I stopped trying to fill that void of loneliness, I actually started to crave to be by myself. I would start to get overwhelmed in like social settings and just be like, I just want to be by myself. And I don't know what that's about. I really don't know. I wish I could tell you, but I don't know. I'm just saying exactly what happened, okay? I started to kind of distance myself from like my family and stuff. And I think maybe it was because I started learning that, like, this is just my theory, that I started learning that, like, I don't need anybody. This person who I thought I needed or I would literally die, which is like, yeah, I know it's a little dramatic, but that's how I felt. This person who I loved so much, was in love with, who I thought was in love with me, basically left me. Basically told me, girl, go on and do what you gotta do for yourself because I ain't sticking around. I got things I need to do. You need to go figure out some things that you need to do. That's basically what he told me, right? Left me, right? And I didn't die. I went and made these other connections and they're healthy connections and I'm doing pretty okay. I guess I don't need people the way I thought I did. I guess, like, I want to kind of be by myself now sometimes. Like, yeah, then I started to do that. And then it kind of got a little unhealthy because then I started isolating myself. I don't know what that was about, honestly. I can't even tell you why I started like really isolating, but it is what it is. And then I went into the like being alone thing. I would go out with friends again, and then I started dating again, and it was just a whole different thing though. Like, I would go out with dates with people and then just be like, okay, bye, and just leave, and I don't give a fuck if we make another date. If you call me after, if you text me, you see if I got home, like, I don't care. I just came out to have a little fun, get a little attention, have a little, you know, outfit moment, and that's it. Now stick with me, because this is happening right now as I'm thinking, okay? So if it don't make sense, it does. Just pretend it does. Okay. I started to want to be alone because I didn't feel alone. I didn't feel lonely anymore. I felt like, okay, it's just me. Like, I wanted to just be with me. In the beginning, I couldn't be with me. I couldn't sit with myself. I didn't know who I was. I didn't know like anything. And I thought like I would get some kind of validation or some kind of something from being around people and having that. But then I would also feel the loneliness still because I still didn't know myself, right? But then it turned into, I know myself so well. I love myself so much. I am the best person for me ever. So like, I kind of just wanted to be me and me. And that's where I am now. Like, I love the people that I have in my life, and I wouldn't have any other people in my life, honestly. I just like to be alone also. So like, I've been trying to figure out like a good way to balance that out, because, you know, I'm learning that I'm just sort of like an all or nothing kind of person. Like, I'm all the way here or I'm all the way there. Like, I can't be in the middle for some reason. So I'm trying to be more in the middle about stuff. I want to get back into meditating the way that I was before and really checking in with myself, because I think I'm just on the go a lot now, that I kind of put myself on the back burner and just say, girl, you're gonna be all right, because I know myself and I know I'm gonna be all right. But it's like, okay, you're gonna be okay, but also let's sit and process and think about this real quick. I really don't feel like I deal with the loneliness anymore. I think I do have abandonment issues still, unfortunately, that, you know, my father gave me. I think that if I really started meditating and stuff like that again, that a lot of my mental breakdowns and emotional, and I'm not even going to say it like I regularly have a mental breakdown, because your girl is actually doing pretty good. But just like, I feel like I wouldn't have those if I really sat in with myself and like processed, why do I feel this way? How can I resolve this feeling? Is this something that I can resolve, or do I have to just sit through it kind of vibe, you know? But yeah, so that's pretty much it. You know, your girl, she's just a girl. I pulled through. I really pulled through. I really, like, you guys don't even understand. Like, I did not think I was going to record today, but I just did it. And yeah, that's how I feel. Thank you for coming to my video. I hope that you understand like my little rant that I went on. I hope that maybe you can get something from this. Maybe you can look in the mirror and say, damn, do I be doing that? Honestly, loneliness is an epidemic, and I think a lot of people don't realize that that's what's going on with them. But look in the mirror. But anyway, yes. Once again, with all that being said, thank you so much for watching this video. I love, love, love you. Have a wonderful day. Drink your water, read your labels, moisturize your skin, do all the things. And I'll see you very soon. Bye.